He just paints human beings and their lives, their emotions, their experiences, their problems, struggles, triumphs. I mean, that's what good artists do. I mean, a good artist is revealing something to you about yourself.
I wanted to put the industrial scene on the map. I made careful inquiries to find out if anyone had done it, and, as far as I could see, nobody else had done it seriously. So I said I'll try and put it on the map.
I think Lowry does distance himself. He distances himself from a lot of things in his paintings, actually, I think. He moved to a sort of poorer area of Greater Manchester, where he was surrounded. It wasn't a sort of a very difficult area, but it was a sort of poorer area than what he had grown up in.
And for a long time I disliked it intensely. Then, after years, I got used to it, and then I became interested, and then, finally, obsessed.
But he knew that he wasn't the same as these people. He knew that he was observing them. He would never have passed himself off as working class, because he knew that he was actually rather better off than a lot of the people that he was looking at and watching and observing. He was very familiar with the people that he painted, because for most of his career he had a day job as a rent collector in Clark with the Pall Mall Property Company, out sort of collecting rents from tenants.
I'll always be grateful to rent collecting. I've put many of the tenants in my paintings.
Also physically, in the way that he paints and the composition of his paintings, he's very much an observer. Sometimes that's just a little compositional trick where you've got a set of railings or a road or a curbside in the foreground of the picture. It just gives you that little bit of psychological distance between you and what you're looking at.
I often reflect myself in my figures. I'm bound to. I'm bound to reflect myself in the figures. I'm a very lonely sort of person.
Lowry's mental health, I think, had its ups and downs, and I think he experienced loneliness and depression and things like that from time to time, and that's what many of us have struggled with in the last couple of years, so he's been especially relevant during the pandemic.
She never understood my work, but she did understand me, and that was enough. You can't really wonder that my pictures sometimes reflect my own loneliness. I don't consciously paint people in lonely situations. My people seem to do that themselves in my pictures.
Well, Lowry spent quite a few years at the Royal Technical College going along to the life drawing classes in the evenings, and it was a really sort of traditional art education.
You've no idea how long I spent on freehand, antique anatomy and full-length studies. At art school they wanted accuracy more than anything else. Rather than start you doing a sketch out of your head, sort of slapdash, and then say, oh, that's very good, they'd make you work for weeks and weeks and weeks on one drawing of a tree.
And he says himself, when he drew from life, he could make people look realistic, for want of a better word. When he drew from imagination, they looked more like sort of mannequins, and this is something that he was conscious of. And you get the sense that he deliberately went with that decision and went with this sort of stylized human figure.
But I do feel that pictures that I like the best are done purely from, call it imagination, if you like.
I think Lowry's especially relevant in the last couple of years because of everything that people have experienced during the pandemic. And his paintings of crowds are exactly what people have missed, sort of yearned to be part of, wanting to be out there with friends and family and just, going to a concert or going to a football match or whatever. And on the other hand, his paintings that are to do with sort of empty landscapes, seascapes that are more about solitude and being alone and loneliness are what a lot of people have struggled with and experienced as well during the last couple of years.
After all, it's only a picture. It's all make-believe, it's not reality. The whole thing is, can you get away with what you want to say? If it makes people happy, how can't you?